Let me ask you something. Are you getting everything out of your rent-to-own business? If you're not an APRO member, then the answer is probably no. Look, advocacy is APRO's bread and butter. This is why they were created and what they do best. But here's the thing. APRO membership is about way more than advocacy. APRO connects you to the movers and the shakers of the industry, people who've been there, done that, and they can help you do it even better. APRO's monthly webinars give you expert insights and actionable takeaways. It's like having a masterclass for your business every single month. Got questions about complex regulations or sticky situations? No problem. APRO's legal hotline gives you direct access to experts who have got the answers. That's a peace of mind that you can't put a price on. And let's not forget the resources, news, updates, and tools that keep you ahead of the curve. Scholarships for your team? Check. Disaster relief when you need it most? Double check. APRO is your ultimate support system in the rent-to-own world. So stop settling for less. With APRO, members get more. More support, more connections, and more success. Head over to RTOHQ.org and join the APRO family today. Because in this business, more isn't just better. It's essential. See you at the top with APRO. Hello and welcome to the RTO Show. I'm your host, Pete Chow. We're talking rent-to-own with Richard Formo, co-founder and CEO of Paidit.com. Now, this is something that's going to be coming out later in the RTO world, and you guys are going to see that. But Richard, so glad to have you on the show. Why don't you introduce yourself and give us a little bit about your background?
Pete, appreciate you taking a few moments to chat with me. We are super excited about our new product specifically designed for the rent-to-own industry. It is called RTO2, so like oxygen, and we will be launching it at APRO RTO World here in about 30 days. So super excited. My background, just to give everybody a bit of context, I have a little over 15 years experience in the rent-to-own and lease-to-own specific industry. I started when I was 18 years old with a RTO store called Bargain City in Arizona. They also had a spinoff called TRS, which was really one of the industry pioneers for the lease-to-own product that you see heavily in the market today. So after that, I spent years and years moving around for Rent-A-Center Corporate with Acceptance Now, scaling the first ever national accounts division within the lease-to-own sector, and then moving back to Plano to work with the executives at Rent-A-Center. So super excited. I understand all the intricacies of the rent-to-own industry extremely well. We're deeply connected with a lot of you folks out there in the RTO world. A lot of you may either know who we are or you've heard about our product coming. So super excited.
Now, when you talk about Plano, Texas, I remember, 24 years ago, I was working for Renter's Choice. And it was right before it bought into or the Rent-A-Center that it is now. And I remember, everything that came out of there was Ernie Talley in Plano, Texas. And man, that was a good time. That was a good time back then. I really have a lot of admiration for that gentleman who just pioneered a lot of the way. So when you talk about the old rack days, you kind of set me off there. I kind of remember that from a long time ago. So when we talk about the RTO2, so when we're talking about Paidit.com, it's a collections automation platform, correct?
That is correct. The product we have in the market today, we are a collections engagement and automation platform built for businesses. So collection agencies, credit unions, banks, e-commerce lenders, buy now, pay later, lease to own, utilities, and even healthcare companies are leveraging the product today. As you may know, the rent-to-own industry is significantly different. There's product involved. There's things like free time and some of these other things that are product returns that just make the product from a technology standpoint significantly different. So we can't operate our core product in that market. But essentially what our core product does today and is doing today is a lender, for example, let's just use Acima, who's a customer of ours, who is owned by Rent-A-Center. They would load a portfolio or multiple portfolios of debtors or consumers into the platform. We're going to reach in, we're going to grab a bunch of history and data, and we're going to build custom campaigns and sequences of when and how to engage the consumer, but all digitally. Okay. So A couple examples of that is when a consumer's phone number is loaded, when consumers are loaded in the platform, it'll ping their phone number or the carrier. It's going to tell us when they're active on their phone. So if John Doe or just you, Pete, if you were loaded into the platform, our machine would know that you're more likely on your phone from the hours of 12 to 2. Okay. So our machine's going to automatically move you into your first SMS cadence. So you're going to receive your first SMS from us from the hours of 12 to 2 when you're more likely on the phone, or email.
Now, that's a good idea. That's definitely a great integration to make sure that they're consistently being targeted at the times that they're going to be available.
Exactly right. So we want specific, sophisticated methodologies of when to engage with the consumer. So you're not just kind of spraying and praying that somebody hopefully opens your SMS or answers your email. So the same thing goes for email. We have the ability to understand when they're checking their emails. So ideally, say they open their emails every day at 5 or once a week, we will try to send them an email a few minutes before they're more than likely going to open their emails. That way, your email is at the top of their inbox, and they're more likely to engage and take action.
That's something new. That I got to say, I like that idea. Something a little different there that I definitely think RTO could use.
Absolutely. So some of the other things, what I mean by custom campaigns and sequences and strategies, you're going to hear that a lot. A big thing is, say a consumer gets an SMS from us, from our machine, right? And they click on that link and they bail. They don't take any action. The platform is going to automatically move them into a new strategy or a new campaign for consumers that did only that. So very similar to if you put shoes in a shopping cart on Amazon, you didn't buy them, and now you're getting emails saying, hey, Pete, are you sure you don't want those shoes? They're going to look great on you. Are you sure you don't want to buy those shoes? The same kind of concept. We're just putting unique, tailored strategies to get the consumer to engage.
Quick question, is this run by an AI engine, or is it just algorithms that because they didn't answer a certain way during a certain time frame, it will switch them to another way of connection?
Exactly right. So we have teams of data scientists behind the product that are constantly running new programs from a machine learning and artificial intelligence perspective. And that's how we're really, truly dialing in and optimizing the right times to engage and methods that the consumer wants to engage.
Well, I can tell you, Richard, right now, I've got a lot of people out there who are always concerned and how AI is going to affect us in the RTO world. I can tell you guys right now, it might be a good thing to start it from the collection side and see if we can make this happen for us. So it's good to know that it's there to kind of supersede what we know and kind of get them at the right times and get them in the right ways that they need to be connected to.
Yep. And it's important to note, Pete, that the product is fully white labeled. And for folks that don't know what white label means, we have built the Ferrari for you, and you get to drive it, meaning your brand is on your brand, your logo, everything. You get to manage the product as a company or as a storefront. So each storefront has their own version. It's all built in the cloud, so it's not on premise, right? So there's constant new features and functionalities. We're adding new features and functionalities almost daily. Another channel, a communication channel that we've built and customized ourselves is ringless voicemail drops. So for example, in the cadence, say day 1, they get an SMS, day 2, they get an email, day 3, they can get a ringless voicemail drop. We've taken that voicemail drop just a step further. So when your phone won't ring, but the consumer will get a voicemail on their phone. It'll sound just like you because you recorded it. It'll say, hey, this is Pete from whichever rent-to-own store you're from.
The RTO Show.
Yep.
This is Pete from the RTO Show.
This is Pete from the RTO Show. To make a payment, please click here on voicemailpayment.com or whatever that is. And that link, they can actually click the link in the voicemail and it will take them straight to the payment screen. So they can either make a payment, schedule a payment arrangement, negotiate a settlement if they're really past due, schedule a return. There's a bunch of things they can do all from a voicemail, which is pretty powerful.
So this software is not just for collections. You can actually do it for reoccurring on-time payments within anyone's regular payment schedule.
Correct. It goes a step further, Pete. It's actually, so one of the number one things that we keep hearing is staffing, hiring, employee retention, engagement, right? How do you keep folks, or how do you keep the retention levels high? Because if I'm correct, the employee turnover attrition in the rent-to-own industry right now is almost 330%. Right.
It is growing, and it is. I've talked to rent-to-own dealers across the nation, and I think we're all kind of facing it. Some in geographical areas are better than others, but I can say that in most cases, than not, yeah, it's actually on the rise. It's kind of tampered off in the sense that it's not growing, by leaps and bounds. But I would say it's tapered off, but it's getting out of hand. I mean, we really, really need those people behind those areas, and this might be a way to fix that.
Yeah, exactly right. And secondly, just the cost of payroll now with the inflation has just skyrocketed. So not only can you not keep people or find people, the cost of folks is getting more and more expensive every day. So we're really excited to deliver a product that can put your collections truly on autopilot, and you can really focus on the accounts that are just much tougher to collect on or need a bit more of a one-on-one relationship. Next, it's important to note something that is neat. You can actually build custom campaigns and strategies for, say, customers that are paying extremely well. And hey, did you know the new Xbox is out? We just got it in the store. Come on in, right? So the product can actually help you grow your business, right? So you're not just collecting.
So wait. So you're telling me that this is a collections platform that can be used for the same algorithms used to put product back out on the streets?
Exactly right. So our mission is not to just be the number one collections engagement and automation, but be the number one marketing automation platform, all under one roof.
So I'm looking on the website, right, and I saw that it is a collections automation platform, and it uses omni-channel digital communication with the customers, different ways to do it, whether it be the SMS, the text message, the emails. But then there's different ways to pay as well, right? So it's not just ACH, it's not just credit card. You can do an Apple or Google Pay as well?
You can, yes. So look, the mission is to meet the consumer where they want to be met, right? In the channels they want to be met, whether it's email, SMS, voicemail drop. And you want to allow them to pay however they want to pay. And that can be credit card, debit card, ACH, Google Pay, Apple Pay, etc. The whole mission is just to get the consumer a better repayment experience, keep them as a longer, better paying customer, and put them on more product.
Now, I saw an analytical section. So are those analytics built into where someone at a store level can actually see them, whether it be a DM or a GM, they can see how effective it is and what times it's being most effective and in what cases?
Yeah, we actually have a very sophisticated admin portal where you can drill down all the way from almost a CFO level. So a CFO can log in and have a complete company overview, all the way down to a regional director, for example, can log in and see all their stores. A DM can see all their stores, and a store can log in and just see their store. So they'll get complete analytics. For example, it'll separate by card closes, right? So we come from this background. We come from the rent-to-own space, so we understand card closes very well. You can understand now exactly what SMS is performing for your card close, what email is performing in your card close, what voicemail drops, etc. You can drill everything down in very granular detail in the admin portal.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey everyone, it's Pete Chow here from the RTO Show podcast, and I want to tell you about a company that's making a real difference in the rent-to-own space, Wow Brands. I've seen firsthand how they approach marketing, and let me tell you, it's not just about ads. Wow Brands builds complete digital ecosystems designed specifically for the rent-to-own industry. Their e-commerce and lead generation strategies are built to bring in qualified leads. And did I mention that they are actively working with the rent-to-own industry while also being members of APRO and TRIB? Listen, these folks are passionate problem solvers. They don't just slap something together. They design, build, and scale the kind of digital retail tools your business needs and your customers actually want. So if you're serious about growing, reach out to Wow Brands at wowbrands.com. I trust them, and I think you will too. Richard, that is amazing because I couldn't tell you an RTO dealer that didn't or wouldn't want to know that information, especially with what's going on right now. Now, when you're talking about manual labor, Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, but when you're talking about those type of analytics, going out to the point where you can see exactly what's working for you and what's not, you can push that at the counter during the sale and make that work even better. That's pretty crazy. That's actually really, really interesting. So how, right now, I know a lot of people that are working with the VersaRent system.
Yep.
How does that integrate? So, of course, all the stores, they have their information. And I know that, you said it's through the cloud. So does the information have to be uploaded into your database through the cloud to have all those? And then how often does it update the software for people who have paid out, who have closed out, who have returned, that no longer have it? How does that work?
Pete, I'm glad you asked. We have been working quietly, very hard behind the scenes with David Goldman at VersaRent on a very sophisticated, a very robust integration. So that way you can just hit start and you'll be able to take the Ferrari from first gear to sixth gear as soon as we're ready at RTO World. Fully integrated.
So David is all on board with this. Now, how does he feel about, and I'm just asking because I just want to know, you guys have some of the features that they have. Now, of course, yours is a lot more dialed in, a lot more robust, but they do have some text messaging. They do have some messaging, platforms in there. Were they, hey, listen, we want to keep what we have, or they were like, let's get it done. You guys have a great arm to add to what we have going on. Let's get together and make that happen.
Yeah, look, I think David's biggest concern is just ensuring that his customers have the best product. He has a very loyal customer base, right? For a reason. They've done a fantastic job. And so when David partnered with us, he said, wow, this thing is revolutionary and I want to be a part of it. And I want to be the first one to deliver this to my customers. So we
that actually sounds like Dave. That sounds like Dave.
Yep. So we worked with him and Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett is on our advisory board from Buddies.
Wow. Geez, you got some heavy hitters out there, huh?
We've been working quietly, but very hard to ensure that this product is built specifically in every thought. We've gotten on this phone over the course of a year with store managers to collection specialists to district managers to regionals to ensure that this product comes out of the gate swinging. You'll be able to schedule service in the platform, schedule a product return, make commitments, change due dates, all kinds of really cool features and functionalities. And look, there's even more to come. It will be able to do a lot of really cool things right out of the gate. So I just want to say, I thank David Goldman. Hopefully I'm not stealing his spotlight for RTO World, but I want to personally thank him for working one-on-one with me almost weekly on this for the last almost year, quietly behind the scenes. So we are really excited about our partnership with VersaRent.
Well, I'm going to tell you, some guys are going to be afraid of it and some guys are going to run to it, and as is with all new technologies. But when we're running across a situation where we're having a really hard time with getting labor on the situation to get it ongoing, this might be a breakthrough. And I know a lot of people say, once in a while, you got to be careful. Somebody else is going to be making your fries. But now somebody else might be making your calls. And this sounds like a very, very direct, very go-to situation. So here's a question. Let's say I'm a regular dealer. I've got, 10 to 15 stores. I am using VersaRent, so we'll make it just easier. From the word go to full integration and it's running, how long does that take?
It should be the matter of moments, a flip of a switch.
Okay, let me get that correct. It's immediate?
It should be very immediate. The only thing from VersaRent's end, yes. From Paidit, we will just get folks onboarded onto the platform and just ensure they know how to drive the Ferrari, right? So, and sorry if I keep using that terminology, but it's the best way to put it because it's a very sophisticated, very robust, and we just need to ensure that when a store manager latches onto this thing, they know how to use it and everything it can and can't do, right? So there will be some training involved, but in terms of getting it to go live, yeah, it's the matter of moments.
I am very okay with using the Ferrari terminology. So here's a question. We're calling it R2O2. Is that the direct name for it? Or are we going to call it Paidit.com? What are we going to go to? Like if somebody was to come to me in one of my stores and say, hey, this is what I'm pitching. Is it the RTO2 that they're going to call it?
Yeah. So Paidit is the main company. It's the main brand. However, the product that is specifically designed for the rent-to-own industry is RTO2. So we are excited to allow people to breathe again, Pete, get some fresh air.
Yes, I'm telling you right now, I'm just thinking about all the implications that it could, the things that can happen, it can change and allow for. I'm actually very excited to see this information. I'm actually excited to see you at RTO World and kind of have that conversation ourselves. Now, Paidit's been in business for years, correct? But then
Correct.
This particular, the RTO2 is only, this has been in R&D for a year then?
Yeah. So the core Paidit product, that our collections engagement and automation platform, we have hundreds and hundreds of businesses on the platform today that's operating, all the way from very large publicly traded businesses to one-person locations that rely on us to literally run their entire operation from a collection standpoint. However, with my background in the RTO world, I've always wanted to kind of help revolutionize and change the industry a bit, because the biggest thing that I've seen from the outside looking in is my concern has just been growth. And so this product will, imagine, Pete, just take a step back and imagine if you could have a platform that can even just collect as much as one human, right? Or as much as what your store is doing today, but you never had to make a single phone call again or make another outbound collection effort again. Imagine the growth that you could have in that RTO store. Imagine you could spend all that effort on growing the business. And right now, if I can just say one thing, our core collections product that's in the market, we have tons of case studies. We are collecting on average 10 to 15 times more than a human in all of our locations that we're working with today.
And every single board across the way you see it, it's been better.
Everybody. Something that's important to note, this could kind of give you an idea. 65% of our user engagement on our platform today is happening after business hours or on the weekends. So folks are making a payment, scheduling payment arrangements, or even negotiating settlements all after business hours or on the weekends.
RTO family, I'm going to tell you, this sounds like a game changer from Paidit.com for RTO2. That's amazing. Now,
Pete, you're hearing it first. This is not public until RTO World. So this is super exciting.
Yes, this is it. I mean, this is, you've got my mind reeling. I'm telling you, there's so many possibilities because, on the sales side, there is a lot that goes with that. There's the ordering, there's the merchandising, there's the refurbishment that goes into it. There's the making sure that it's set up properly on the showroom. Is it tagged correctly? Have I explained to you all its products, features, benefits, delivery times, and making sure that it's good for you? And this opens that window to create different positions to where, I have a collections person, but if I have that collections person only focusing on the top, let's say 10%, if that really need to be, drilled in on, then what is the time frame of what they have left? That gives you so much more opportunity. That changes the amount of traditional training that goes with it, the traditional learning curve that goes with it. I mean, you can have people come in and only learn a few parts of the business and be able to ready to go instead of training them on sales and credit or collections, vice versa. It's almost like this is how you handle it. And then we'll go into the back end of it, the very different, difficult 10%, but that's a whole different learning curve.
Yeah.
To be able to stay on top of that and, know that if somebody leaves for let's say they move, let's say they found something better, let's say something in their family has changed their ability to be able to work the hours that you have available. You're not down that person. You're still having those collections happen every single day, 6 days a week or whoever's open 7 or whatever the case is, and utilizing it for sales as well. That can change up a huge amount of the way rent-to-own is done. And I think, I'm going to say it, Richard, you guys are on the forefront of that. I haven't heard anything that's close to this right now. Now, the question that I saw, because every time I go onto the website, I see this, it looks like it's very much mobilized. So I see a lot of tablet use, a lot of phone use. Is it specifically made for that?
Yeah, so it's fully mobile optimized. So you'll receive the same repayment experience or repayment journey, whether you log in from a phone, a tablet, or a computer. And it is important to note, Pete, that 80% of our user engagement is done on an Apple device, which is interesting. Not even just a phone, but an Apple device specifically.
I'm going to tell you, Richard, I'm probably going to get a little bit of messages on this. I am a Samsung guy. I've always
Yep.
been a Samsung guy. I guess it makes me an Android guy. It's just the way that I use things. It just seems to be easier for me. I never really kind of understood the Apple part of it. But when I do the analytics of the show, when I do the analytics out in the world, there are far more Apple users that actually listen to the show or integrate with the show through Apple, software and devices than anything else by far.
Yep.
And so I know that there were a few times at VersaRent, and not trying to say anything about them, but I know VersaRent was doing a few things, and Apple was a little bit difficult for them to get through. To know that you've already kind of accomplished that, and it's already done, and you can see that there's a lot more Apple user engagement, that's also a game changer because it's already there. You don't have to worry about it working or not working. It's solid state, ready to go.
It is. It's ready for any device. So we've thought about everything in great detail, and it looks just incredible. Actually, Pete, our brand new UI, UX, user experience, user interface was completed today. And I can tell you, it looks really, really slick. So excited. One thing, if you don't mind, I'd love to touch on that kind of made us pretty well known in the industry. We do have a unique feature that is for really late stage customers. So right now, a store, if somebody goes and never pays you again and they charge off, right? There's a couple different avenues you can take, but a lot of it just sits there and it's never collected on ever again, right? The customer keeps the product and hopefully you don't rent to them ever again. We have the ability to do one-time settlement offers and allow the consumer to negotiate. So we've already tested this with some, which I can't say yet, but we've already tested with some RTO stores and some RTO brands quietly and confidentially. But what it's allowing consumers to do is get an SMS and say, hey, you owe us $1,000. How much can you afford? They can submit any amount. So call it $75. And the machine's going to automatically counteroffer them 3 different offers in the machine. So they can either accept one of those offers and settle, or they can actually counter the machine and go back and forth. So the consumer feels like they're back in control and they're the one settling for whatever amount that they agreed on. And this has been a game changer for even the stuff that's just sitting there charged off that you're doing nothing with today.
That's completely different. That's actually a feature. You're right. I did not see that coming. Now, a good thing to say is, now, what about the states? And I don't want to get too far into it, but there are states that have legal recourses to do that. Do you cancel that out in those states, or do you allow the store or the management to say, we're going to go with this option with so many customers, or we select the clientele or the account or the agreement parameters that would fit into this? Or how does that work? How do you pick when it will and will not do that?
So you can toggle anything on and off that you do or don't want in the product. So if there's certain state-based regulations or what have you that limit some things, you can toggle that on and off. However, we are going to provide you guys what an A+ looks like right out of the gate. And it would just be up to your compliance to kind of approve it and move forward with it. But to answer your question, you can do all that. The same with, for example, Spanish in the platform. It is optimized for English and Spanish. You can actually set campaign strategies simultaneously. So folks get all their emails and SMS in Spanish, their voicemail drops in Spanish. When they log in, they can negotiate in Spanish, or they can request a pickup or what have you in Spanish. So it does have that capability as well.
You must have been reading my mind. You must have known that was literally the next question I was going to have, is because we have certain areas in the Tampa Bay area that are predominantly Hispanic, and regardless of what we do to penetrate that, we have to get on the level of the customer, right? They're not going to conform to what we do. We need to conform to them to make it easier, that shopping experience, the filling the needs, that experience easier for them. And that is huge, because in this area, especially in the Tampa Bay area, I have stores that are predominantly Hispanic that it just wouldn't work unless you can do it in a way that they can read and they can understand.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, that's amazing. Now, here's a question that I have, and I keep on telling Mike, I'm gonna make him a T-shirt that says this is the biggest question. But when you said earlier that it's said in your voice, is that like, do you record something directly, or do you speak into the AI? It kind of figures out the way you say things, and then it uses the way you say things to make these notifications or leave voice messages or whatever the case.
Yep. So you can do all pre-recorded voicemails. So whoever you want to record them, you can do that. So you have full autonomy over that.
So probably at home office, we would have somebody do it with the best speaking
Yep.
voice and make sure that they can pronunciate and enunciate everything, right?
Yeah, you can use ours, right? We have professional ones done, a plethora of them for you to choose from, or you can do your own. It's up to you. We have it in the market today on our core Paidit product that's out there, and I would say 99% of people just use the ones we had professionally done. But it's up to you. You can have, if you want to ensure that it's coming, the voice message is coming from your store manager, you can do that.
Now you have some pretty heavy hitters on there, right? You're talking about David, you're talking about Mike. So do you already have contracts available and set up for people to use this software coming soon, like ready to almost go? Or is this going to be the full on, regardless of who's on the board, regardless who's been helping us out strategically and planning, this is the go point where from here, everybody can now get on the platform?
Yeah, from RTO World on, it will be available to the public. We have been working quietly with a number of folks that do know it's coming confidentially, that are ready when we say go, but it will be public here to everybody that wants it at RTO World. And we're actually going to offer a very exciting exclusive discount for about 30 days for those who want to take advantage at the RTO World. So really excited to do that. But I will say there are some, and I won't name any brands, but there are some RTO brands and owners out there that know me and know the product's coming and have called me and are begging for it now. They are just struggling with staffing and collections, and they're really excited about what this is going to do for the industry.
Well, Richard, I'm not going to tell you that you have the silver bullet to rent to own. I'm going to say you probably have something very close to it. I mean, you have the want and go to system that I can tell you right now. I know people are going to go to that. Now, this is the crazy. I want to tell you, I have my ear to the ground when it comes to rent to own, and I've got it everywhere. I've got it in a lot of states from a lot of people in a lot of companies.
Yep.
I have not heard this. I'm telling you right now, I'm a little jealous that I didn't know this was coming. So whoever you have on the staff, whoever's been discussing it with you, I can tell you firsthand, they've been keeping it quiet. And I kudos to them, because it's a good thing that, you guys work under the cover of making sure it's 100% before it's out there. So kudos to them and congratulations. This system sounds amazing, not just from the collection standpoint, because absolutely, I think if it was just on the collection side, that would make it worth it as well. But to say that there's a sales aspect to it, to say that there's somebody working behind the scenes when somebody's at lunch, when somebody's not there, when the hours are closed, when somebody's sick, when somebody's on vacation, that's the game changer, to have that consistency. And also, I think sometimes we as human beings, and I'm just putting it out there, collections is difficult. I've done collections and I've done sales. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a sales guy at heart. But when it comes to collections, it's the inflection. It's how you say it. It's when you catch them. But when you have a system sometimes, and I'm not trying to be all for the system, but sometimes it takes the personality out of it and it says, this is how you resolve the account. And I'm not here to bother you or say something, or I don't believe in something that you don't, or I don't say things that you don't agree with. It's just me. This is how you collect. This is how you make the payment. This is what I can do for you. And it's straightforward and easy for the customer to use. That's super important, especially in today's system, in today's world. I mean, AI is here, right? It's to stay. We might as well use it to the best of our abilities.
Absolutely. I do have a question. Have you heard of the concept? I'm sure you have, but like the old school war rooms, right? Collections war rooms.
We love war rooms.
So imagine this. Imagine if you can load in the customer base that you want in a war room, or the account base. All the strategies are automatically built to however you want them. And you just hit go, you lock the front door, you go home, and there's a war room going 24/7, collecting from any consumer. That's what's exciting, is when you're sleeping, there's folks scheduling payments and negotiating settlements for people who have charged off, and right. That's what's pretty exciting.
Stop, Richard. You're giving me the heebie-jeebies, man. You're sending chills down my spine, man. You're really kind of painting a great picture for what the possibility in rent to own. I'm telling you, I haven't heard of anything close to this. You always think about it, right? You always think, well, what's the future going to bring? You guys are bringing something completely different to this R2O2 thing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing I can see on the war rooms is you could possibly say, okay, I'm going to put route 1, in the war room on R2O2, and I'm going to put route 2 on the staff.
Bingo.
And we're going to see how this fares out. And you know what? I mean, I don't want to be on the losing side either way, but I think no matter what you do, the store's going to win. It's going to be better for the customers. It's going to be better for the business. And it is going to allow that opportunity to get more personal with all your customers, whether they're new, whether they're reoccurring, whether they've paid out, whether they're, somebody who hasn't been here for a long, long time or somebody that comes in every 3 months. It's going to really help you build that relationship. I'm going to tell you right now, wow, you got me sitting beside myself. If there was another Pete, he'd be looking at me going, wow, Pete and repeat, we're going to be staring at each other going, holy cow, what is this?
The most important thing we want to accomplish is ensure that the RTO stores can grow their business at levels they've never seen before, excuse me. So that's the big thing we want to see is we want them to focus less on the monotonous collection calls and dropping door tags at doors and things that still happen day in, day out. And they can put their focus on growing the business.
Something you mentioned earlier that I thought was a little bit different, and I know that I'm always going to be an advocate for change in the right direction. You are always going to get those steadfast people who probably have a lot of different ways to look at it, and they're going to, try to pick it apart to make sure that it's the best for them. I did hear you say that you can make a commitment to pay in the future through the system. How does that work?
Yeah. So that is one of the features. You can schedule services, you can make commitments, you can schedule a call back, right? And it'll go straight to a person's screen so they can call back. You can schedule equipment returns. What we will always ensure though, is that the brand or the store has a say in what you want that to be. So for example, we don't ever want them to make a commitment on a Saturday or a Thursday or whatever the rule is. You can have those rules input in the system. That way you have a say in what you want it to look like.
So the parameters are set by the store as loose or as tight as you need them to be.
Exactly right. So it's not just, hey, use our way or the highway. It's you can actually, the rules that you're out there teaching a brand new collector. Hey, make sure you don't do this, or make sure you don't, you update their phone number and address every time you speak to them, and all these great best practices. You can actually now just put those best practices in the machine and it does it automatically.
I'm still stoked. It's great to hear this. Now, walk me through this. I'm a customer. I'm going in. I open an account, right? I have an agreement in front of me. Somebody's going over it with me. They explain it to me, or they sit down in the closing room, whatever the case is. Yep. They explain to me I got a package or a single item. This is my same as cash. This is what I can expect. Service, credit, whatever the case is for that particular rent-to-own. Now, somebody's going to say to me, and I'm guessing, and you help me out with this, somebody's going to say, okay, this is what you can expect when it's time to make a payment or a past due payment. How do I initially get into it? Do I download an app? What do I need to do?
Yep. So the one thing that is important to note the difference between RTO2 and VersaRent is a VersaRent is really going to stay focused on customers that aren't past due, right? So those normal payments will still kind of go through that VersaRent process. But as soon as they go 1 day past due, the VersaRent will automatically kick them over into the Paidit platform on different campaigns. So there really is no telling the customer anything other than that now they have the ability to pay online on their phone while they're at their soccer game. It doesn't matter how they want to pay. They have the ability to do it 24/7.
So they don't need to download an app. There is information set in all the stuff that they get. Like if I got an SMS, I can connect through the SMS to make sure I'm making that payment, or an email, or whatever the case is.
And it'll show all your agreements, right? Because a lot of the RTO customers have multiple agreements. So you'll get an SMS and saying your payment's due. You'll click on it. You'll dive into it, and it'll show the customer all their open agreements. It'll break everything down exactly. If there's one that may be past due, one's not. Which one are they going to pay? All that.
I'm still beside myself. I can't believe that you have actually made this. Like, it's ready to go. We're not talking about something that's going to be out in the next year or the next 6 months. We're talking about something that's going to be out next month.
Pete, it is ready today. We are just waiting for RTO World, which is exciting. So now that the product is kind of ready and we've tested it on some stores and we've had some success, we're already looking at things. I'll give you an example of where we'd also like to add a hypothetical here, Pete. This is pretty exciting. Imagine a customer is a really good paying customer. right? And they've made just called 12 on-time payments, or they've had a bunch of agreements they paid off in the past. And it says, hey, thanks for making your payment. We see you have a 32-inch TV. Click here if you want to upgrade to the 55-inch TV, and we'll have it delivered to your house tomorrow. And it'll swap out the 32 for the 55-inch. And you just grew your business by the click of a button.
You know what I'm going to tell you, Richard? I'm glad I'm getting into this podcast thing because I'm going to feel like I might get replaced at work. I mean, it sounds like it can do so much, and I'm very surprised that it's only taken a year of RTO R&D. But I mean, then again, you yourself and David's been doing this for years and years and years. Michael Bennett's been in this for I can't tell you how many years. So, I mean, there's a lot of thought process that's gone into this. Now, I'm not going to try to steal all the thunder from this. Is this something that happens that a store will pay transactionally, or is it a month-to-month deal, or are they paying a year up front? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. So it's just a month-to-month subscription. So it's purely subscription. So no transactional fees associated with it, other than some like email and SMS and voicemail. We have to pay that, right? We have to pay that ourselves, but it's just a small monthly subscription, and that's it.
Now, when you say month to month, I'm guessing it's based on per store, correct? Because then if I have 20 stores and somebody has 60 stores, that would be a different situation. Am I correct?
Yeah. Each store has to be on their own separate platform, right? They need a separate instance. So yes, they would be set up individually.
There's a couple questions that I have to ask. Number one is, what is the ratio of downtime? Has there ever been a situation where the systems have gone down and we believe that they're calling, let's say at night or whatever the case is, they're not? How are the stores or the management notified? And are there downtimes? Are there multiple server farms that kind of, pick up the slack or are redundant when one shuts down? How does that work?
Yep, exactly right. We don't have any downtime. We never have in the history of the product in the market, knock on wood. We are built on just next generation technology that allows us to constantly stay up and alive and working for all of our customers. That is a requirement for a lot of the publicly traded businesses that we have on our core product, that we have at least a 99.9% uptime, and we've always delivered that.
That's great, because I know a lot of guys who are always going to be, I live in this particular area or whatever the case is.
It doesn't matter.
Things go up and down, and I want to make sure that, if I can't be there, at least they're still getting phone calls. At least they still know that we're around, there's something going on, and how can we help you? So that's great. Now, when you say it's on the cloud,
all that matters is the consumer has access to the internet.
Correct.
Or a phone. That's all that matters.
Great. Now, when we're talking about uploading to the cloud, and you say it's a flip of a switch. So when we're talking about data, we're always talking about keeping the data encrypted or keeping the data safe from people who just aren't doing what they should do. Now, because it's integrated at a store level with, the POS systems that they have, does that information go to the servers, or does it stay on the company servers and it's just accessed as needed?
Yeah, it's access as needed. Everything's living in the cloud. Everything's tokenized. We are PCI level 1 and 2 compliant. We have all of the highest levels of security that are required for any publicly traded business. So you're going to get the top of the line security that comes with it, and that's just because we have such large businesses and even banks and credit unions that are on our core product today. So you folks get to take advantage of that.
That's okay. So because I know that somebody's going to ask me and say, how safe is it? How safe is that I have my customers' information out there? They're being accessed. How do I know that they're not going to be taken advantage of, or somebody has a backdoor to kind of do, like I said, just get in there and do things that they're really not supposed to? Because unfortunately, the world is the way it is. And sometimes we just have to look for the safest way, the securest way to make that happen. So you have a collections automation platform. It is on every channel of communication available out there. They have the ability to, or you have the ability to, not only work this on collection side, but you can turn it onto a sales side. They can pay by credit card, ACH, Apple, or Google Pay. They can make commitments. You have 100% analytic tools. Integration is almost instant. Years and years of background and R&D have gone into this. I can't see this as a lose situation. I'm going to say you better be careful. You might need a couple of security guards when you decide that you want to go with this. You might get a little a mob going on there at the RTO World to try to see how they can get it going. I hope you have enough people ready for that.
Yeah, look, we are super excited. We've been planning this again, like I said, quietly behind the scenes. There's a lot going into it, a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. I want to thank Michael Bennett has just been, and his team have been instrumental in privately helping prepare this product for the industry. So APRO has been a big help. David Goldman has been exceptional in his team. And once it's public, we'll publicly thank all the store managers and the district managers and the regional managers from all different brands that have quietly helped build and guide us and give us advice of what they want to see and what they want to ensure is not missing in the product when it goes live to the market.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you got guys that do this every single day. Who's to say that they don't have an idea on their own that just kind of stands out and go, God, why didn't I think of that? And you always got the human element, right? You always got to remember that there's somebody out there thinking of something. But so far, it sounds like you guys got this covered pretty well. It sounds like you've had a couple of roundtable discussions about this. And I just want to let everybody know this is a first on the RTO Show podcast, talking to Richard Formo, the co-founder and CEO at Paidit.com, RTO2, going out to you guys at the RTO World where you can set this up and put your collections on autopilot and make it, like you said, almost 10 times better and doing it off hours. I can't even imagine how this is going to work out, but I can tell you right now, you're going to have a lot of people asking a lot of questions, including how do I get this to where I'm at?
We couldn't be more excited. Again, we hope to revolutionize the industry, and we know there's nobody else doing it. Nobody else has thought of it. The one thing that always bothered me, Pete, when I was an operator, was that we were always getting these fantastical ideas that came from the home office, and they just never work in the field. And so that's why it was important for us to go to the ground level, day-to-day operators who have been doing this their whole lives, and we got their feedback on how to build the best collections automation platform.
Richard, you got my vote. I'm going to tell you guys right now, R2O2 has the vote of the RTO show. I am stoked to see this. I can't wait to hear about it during the show in San Antonio this year at RTO World that APRO's putting on. Listen, guys, if you guys have any questions for Richard, please feel free to email the podcast at pete@thertoshowpodcast.com. I will forward that along. If we need to have a second session, we will. If you guys have any questions on Facebook or Instagram, look up the RTO Show. Hit us up. You can hit me up on the DM, and I will answer any questions that I know. If not, I will direct them to Richard himself, and maybe we can get that answer together. But I really, really appreciate you taking out the time. I appreciate that you guys allow the RTO Show podcast to be the first one to send this out to everybody and let them know there are some changes on the horizon for collections. If you are having labor problems, if you are having outages, as far as I've got guys here, but they're either gone for a couple weeks before I hire somebody else in, or I've got to deal with schedules that are conflicting with what we need. 24/7 collections for your stores is coming in RTO World from RTO2. Richard, I appreciate your time today. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. If you talk to Dave, if you talk to Mike, tell them we said hello. Tell them that we appreciate what you guys are doing, and I can't wait to see this happen face-to-face in RTO World San Antonio 2023.
Pete, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, if there's anything you guys need, you let me know, because I love this, and with the RTO show, we'll get behind us. We're going to have some more stuff coming out during that time, but I can't wait to see you there. Richard, it's been great talking to you. I wish you guys the best of luck. And again, if there's anything that I can give you guys from the RTO show, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete. Take care.
Thanks, Richard. And that concludes our talk with Richard Formo, the CEO and co-founder of RTO2, a division of Paidit.com. If you guys have any questions, again, hit me up at pete@thertoshowpodcast.com. If you want to see what we're doing, if you want to see what's going on in the RTO show world, go to our website, www.thertoshowpodcast.com. Drop me a line, say hello. Listen, we love to hear what you guys have to say. We love to know that you're listening. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need anything, if you want some swag, hit us up on the website. And that today is going to be the best thing I've heard in a long time for the RTO industry. This is going to be a game changer. As always, keep your credit low and your sales high, and we'll talk again.